How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode 5 of Gearheads and Guardians. We're going to talk this evening. We're going to talk about the racing season for the HMS 1X Super Late model. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the lease and the Patriot program and how all that is tied up into one big bundle of happiness. So take her away, Hess. How you doing this morning, buddy? Or this evening, I
What's
should say.
what's going on there, Broheem? It's been a couple minutes
Been a couple
since we've
days.
talked.
Been a couple days. Yeah, been a couple days.
Hi,
That's not
how you
very
doing?
very typical, but I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. This TMJ thing's kicking my tail, but besides that, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Well, that probably
So,
means we should just shut up for a little bit and give our jaws a rest, right?
not a chance of that. So,
So, I wanted to start real quick. I know this is we had talked before, and this has been a kind of a whirlwind couple of days for me, and then in the past hour, maybe 2 hours, family time has been an absolute big thing. I want to reach out. My cousins are listening back home. We just reconnected, and I'm going to take this video and I'm going to dedicate it to my uncle Ken, who just passed away this past weekend. Um, motorcycle mechanic. If you wanted to know anything about an Indian, he could probably give you the part number in a dream. So I'm going to go ahead and for me, this video, since we're kind of talking gearhead stuff, it's going to be
mhm,
for my uncle Ken and the rest of the family and my cousins and who are going to join us tonight. So this is going to be cool.
right on. Well, God bless y'all. I'm thank you. Um, just gonna let you know from my family to yours. And we send our condolences and God bless y'all. And if there's anything I can do, brother, all you gotta do is pick up that phone. That's all you gotta do. And I'm gonna be
That
there.
absolutely family. Sometimes we forget about family and not in a
Oh
bad
yeah.
way, but just the connection. But I'm going to tell you, my heart's warmed right now to be able to have my cousins who the last time I saw. Um, the twins were they were in diapers, and that's 40 some years ago. So it's this has been
Wow.
a good day. Yeah. Yeah. And the first thing I show him is a race car, and that's probably going to I probably should have been dead in that thing. God knows how many times. So it's good to see
No.
that they get it alive. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you all reconnected. I know, and I kind of went through a similar thing myself back when I was 27. When my dad passed away, I was deployed to Bosnia, and I would being a commo guy, I call home every day, call my folks, see how they're doing. They're elderly. They were, back when I was 27, they were in their 70s. I'll just tell you that. Okay.
Right.
So,
Right.
I called one day and just found out dad was terminal with lung cancer. And I was drop of a hat, and that's when I found out I was adopted and at 27 years old. So it was it
Mm-hmm.
was it was a little bit of whirlwind. So I kind of feel what you're saying, but
Yeah.
it's I had a lot of family pop up. It's like, oh, dude, you're adopted, and it's like, well, okay. So then all these other people, start
Mm-hmm.
popping up, and it was really cool to reconnect. But
Yeah.
I digress.
It one of the things, before we get started, I want to hint on is been, we've been to the desert and we went through that all that stuff, and you really do forget um your extended family at times just because the situation that you're in,
Yep.
and these are times like today where it goes, man, out of all the times that we something could have happened to us or we be the unfortunate one, makes these
Sure.
days very, 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 very special. So it was awesome.
I see
So
you, Mike. I was not dropped on my head. Anyway,
we just slid off the table.
that was after birth. Thank you. That was after I was born. I was dropped on my head. Anyway, so let's get on to this racing season, man. I'm pretty stoked
Yeah.
about this year, man. And I know behind the scenes you and I have talked a lot about the old motor that you and I had built
Hmm.
together.
Hmm.
Um, and then kind of how everything progressed up to where we're at now.
Hmm.
And now we got this beast of a motor or engine, I should say, in this car.
Mhm.
and it's more horsepower than we've had ever so far. Is that correct?
Yeah,
So, so what we're
most I've
saying
ever had.
is, everybody that's out there on that racetrack, just make sure when you see that thing on the back of his car that says Gunner's Choice, make sure you get that phone number. You call me, all right? Because that's probably the only part of the car you're going to see. All right. So,
That's right. I
in the
appreciate your
back of his
enthusiasm.
helmet.
It's been a very long tumultuous. Well, prior to the 2021 season where we actually finished third in points. Up until that point, it was 2015 was my the last good year. But yeah, the motor we first built that we actually took time to build. I ran 3 years where when we unloaded. They had bounties on us. They had, and that was back when the cars were still a little heavy and they were leaf spring
Sure.
cars and what have you not. But
But
fast
now
forward to
back then
today.
they didn't have quick
Yep.
change either, did they? They didn't have the quick change rear end back then either, did they?
Well, they did. They just didn't allow them in our class. We had to run
Oh,
four
well, that's
nine
what I meant.
inches. And
Right.
so, and the crazy part about it is this was never the car that I ever wanted to drive. To be honest with you, I wanted a wing sprint car. I grew up
Right.
around them, but uh, it just evolved where when I was in Georgia and I wanted I wanted to go racing. I got divorced from my first
Sure.
wife, and I just all I wanted was a roll cage and four tires, and it just turned into where we sit now. And I will tell
Mhm.
you that these cars that we're in now, it's a PhD, man. We just went to Vado this past weekend for my birthday out in
Mhm.
New Mexico, and I got to hang around
Happy
where
late birthday, by the
these
way.
guys do this for a living. And I'm going to tell you, just standing there and looking at the hardware and the gear, um, to even say that I get to drive a super late model is an honor because next to these guys, we're nothing. We're nothing. These guys have more money and wheels than
Yeah.
we probably do in our whole gig just because that's what they do. Um,
Well, yeah, that's how they make their living. Yeah, right.
but to drive, man, so much fun. The motor that we had when was a 364. That motor that you helped us build with John. That was a
Right.
364 cubic inch motor, um, durable, fast. But now we through the time and blown motors and problems. My teammate Landon and his dad Bubba sold me their motor, and we have built ourselves a 422 steel block aluminum head um, monster. And I'm ready to get out there and see if I can get this thing to latch on wide open.
Right on, right on. But now,
Hmm.
um, some of the pictures that you show me, and this
Hmm.
is kind of something that kind of had my gears turning
Hmm.
as to kind of like, I'm pretty sure I understand why, but I I want to make sure I'm thinking properly and that that's exactly what I saw in the picture.
Sure.
And for the life of me, I can't remember what car it was. There were so many like thick cars, but it looked like the one, like the main body of the car was here,
Hmm.
and like the front end looked like it was over here.
Hmm.
Now I know
Yeah.
some of them are like offset just a hair, but this one looked like it was like way over. Like the front tire was like almost a foot past the back
Yeah.
tire.
Yeah. So these
Can
cars
you
are so.
explain to that?
Yeah. So the a late model is so very aero dependent where the car when you think about drag racing, the rear end squat, right? They squat and you're trying to get that meat to dig in. Um, a sprint car, when it's going down a straightaway, it's actually leaning to the left and we're turning
It's
left.
going like
And
this.
that's simply because of the amount of speed that they carry, that big offset right rear that they have. Late models is the same concept, right? We drive off the right front and we want that right front down on the ground as close as possible and the left rear up as high as it can get legally and be digging in the track. And
Mhm.
it does look like it. If you look at the cars now, um, they look like the car is in a U, right? Everything is shifted in the front
Yeah.
over towards the passenger side, and then the rear end. everything is shifted over to the passenger side, but it looks like cars in new, and that is simply for side by aerodynamics. It's when when you talk about G forces, I mean, a sprint car would be the only thing, you know, more G force than what we carry. It is simply the ability to turn a car and stand on the gas, and the edge is there, and that's why these things are so fun to drive. If you
Mm,
need an adrenaline dump, but when you look at it like that, we're allowed to drive them that way because of the way they're built and aerodynamics.
gotcha. Now explain something. This is something else that was always um something because I was your tire guy for like the first 2 years I was here in Texas.
Mhm,
Compounds on those tires. Okay.
mhm,
Now I know like before when they weren't running the 4 link, they weren't
mhm,
running, quick change rear ends, all that stuff. You were
mhm,
allowed to run a softer tire.
mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And now that you got so many horses behind you, is that do you have to go to a harder compound tire, a wider tire? What are the steps on that?
So, man, that's a good question because one of the things that we're always chasing is tires. That is, when you don't have anything going on with the car, you still have tires. And it depends on the class that you run. You have a crate lay model class where you're allowed to run the softest tire, which is a 1350 compound or number two.
Mhm.
Hoosier has dialed back the different compounds to 3 tires for late, or 4 tires for late models, two, three, and four. Two, yeah, one, two, three, and four, I believe. And what it is really is an equalizer, so that guys that when they combine kind of the two classes for some of the big shows, the bigger motor cars, they put us on a hard tire, because if you put our big motors on a soft tire, that's like a Nike
Oh, you
shoe with super glue on the bottom. I mean, you're never going to catch them because it's just, it is what it is. However,
there yeah,
we
it's
burn
gonna
them up a lot
constantly bite.
faster. Right.
Right.
So, but yeah, the tire compound, we run two different compounds at one time, um, on our car, and with the right rear being the harder tire.
I
And
was gonna ask you if it's the right rear.
yeah, and it's so technical. I learned, and I'm still learning. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning. And out here watching these guys, tire compound with 960, 970 horsepower, in a 2,350 pound late model. Believe it or not, one compound difference makes the makes the difference whether you get $2,000 or $50,000. And we saw that on
Right.
display this weekend. Absolutely. And there are some guys. I was fortunate with our when we had that first motor in the other car, even as heavy as the car was, we could make a set of soft tires last. John Lawrence, my crew chief, always taught me about gears. I was
Right.
never a brake guy. I never had good brakes on that car. It never really worked. So the way to get the car to turn and dig was through gearing, especially on leaf springs. Never tore up a tire. However, we went to 3 link, put a quick change in it, and we did the Y5 thing, and we went that route, and then we started using tires up because we were getting a little bit more grip. We were
Sure.
I was driving a car a little bit harder. It the car changed dynamically. In these
Right.
cars now, with these full blown late models, you can go through a tire. 8 laps. I had took a brand new 1350 out to hot lap in 8 laps. It was melted down bald, just like that. And I wasn't deep into the secondary. So yeah, tire compound is a huge thing, man. It's a science that I'm still sometimes sitting there going, "Ugh, I don't know, what am I doing?"
Right.
It's
So
it's that technical.
now God, I was just gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. But now the difference now, and you're saying the difference is between, winning that big purse or coming in fourth or fifth.
Hmm.
Okay. So just having one tire different could mean, you know, if you're not first, you're last kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It Yes, it's so weird. And there's so many. there's so many aspects that go into that, like different shocks can change how the tire wears. Just, it all depends on the driver and the car
Right.
and what have you not. But yeah, um, one tire compound changed the outcome of lap number one to lap 50. Kyle Larson um, was trailing Bobby Pierce. Bobby Pierce at one point was up like a straightaway, right? And they were
Wow.
probably moving about 115 miles an hour. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, uh, Larson started catching them, and I'm sitting here just trying to figure this out because there was 24 cars out there, and I'm like, how in the world? And then all of a sudden, Pierce just faded, and Larson got
Mhm.
into the back of him, and come to find out, he blew a right rear tire, blew it, lap 49, blew it.
Oh.
And that is simply because, and Kyle Larson said it. He says, "Man, I will tell you that I decided to go with a little bit harder tire, and it lasted." So it's that technical. Now, is it with us as much? No, because we don't carry that kind of horsepower. I mean, I'm going to go on a limb to say I'm barely maybe 750, 700, somewhere in there, and
Yeah.
that's with me just being a little egotistical because I got a big motor. But it can come down to that, depending on the track surface. I-37 is very dry. It's been very dry for the longest
Very.
time, but Ray has put brand new dirt down.
Oh, did he?
So, yeah, so that's going to help with grip, which will allow us to conserve tires a little bit more.
Mhm. Now, when they prep those tracks, is there a certain like? Because I was under the impression it's kind of like layered the types of dirt.
hmm
Okay, and
hmm
somebody told me a while back, and I can't remember who told me, but that they actually put manure like in the couple of because it holds moisture, but
it
it's
just
down deep in the track, so it's not like
mhm.
soaking wet on top, but it'll pull some of the moisture down. Is that correct? Is
Yeah,
that true?
it depends. Now, John built this track out here, and he had soil samples taken over here to UTSA, and it
Mhm.
is all pretty much sand, right? So the way, sand mixed in with regular, a little bit of caliche that's out there.
Right.
Um, on a track like that, they have people that put soap in the water trucks, and
Mhm.
soap, because soap is a little bit oily, so it keeps it, moistured. There's techniques, sheep's foot, and prepping the track, and what have you not. But
Mhm.
it's all about the soil compound. We're up north where we're all from. It's black dirt, like
Black dirt. Yep.
black dirt. And the cool thing about black dirt is it doesn't dust up. It goes rubber, and it's got complete grip. Um, if you go a little bit north into Minnesota, where Jackson Motorplex is, that track, after 25, 30 laps of four classes, you could walk out there and it's still like
Mushy,
mushy
tacky,
and tacky. Down here, when the wind blows and it gets hot, if you don't have 80,000 gallons of
dustable.
water on it, it dries out. And I will tell you, it sucks. I there's been
Oh, I
times where
remember.
windstorms, yeah, it's bad. So yeah, it depends on what the soil is that they add stuff to. I've heard of manure. I've also heard of the soap, and they actually have some actual
Like chemical treatments, right?
chemical treatments that you can put into your water to help keep moisture in too. So
Mhm.
it's a game. I mean, the track is always changing. It's a game. But yeah, it there are things like that they do to keep the track kind of racy, if you will.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, Mike, Whip, love you guys, man. It's good to see you guys. That's
Hey, good seeing you guys. Absolutely.
those are a couple gentlemen that when I was doing the fish tank stuff, as you can tell, I'm still kind of attached to them. But those are two really good friends of mine, and I just wanted to say I really do appreciate their
hmm
supporting us, But yeah, there's a lot of folks from that community that just kind of fell off the wayside when I left. They just didn't bother to keep in touch. And there's these two fellas and probably about 4 or 5 other guys that they keep in touch. So, guys, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
But so okay. Now as far I do want to ask about this too.
hmm
If someone wanted to, oh, I don't know, sponsor the car somehow. How would they go about doing that?
You know, I I do things a little bit different because the charity, our veterans charity, is tied to
Mhm.
the car the most. I've always had a hard time asking for help. If I couldn't afford it myself, it was hard for me to ask for help from people. It's just the way I am, and it's not a ploy to make me look better or sound better. It's just how I'm built because I always felt that you needed to have a product for someone to want to invest in. And 2015, we picked up a couple people in 2015 because we were leading the points and we were just out there just handing it to them.
Spanking it,
Um,
yeah.
but until I actually give them a something, a product to go, you know what, we're going to go and help him out outside of family. Sam and them, they helped out just because they're family, and they just support racing. And so
Mhm.
it goes to our charity though. Anything that I'm given for the car, a portion of that will go to the charity, because
Right on.
that's why we do this. I'm alive because of
Oh, yeah.
the charity and what we do it for. So that's how I do it with the car. And then we give we are a 501(c), so we do give a receipt, so everything's a write off. But you can reach us here, or you can email me at dirtteam1x@gmail.com. We'll put it in the comments, or if you go to relieffortroops.com, you can leave our email is in there. You can email us, or what you can do is there is button, a PayPal button, on our page where you can donate and you can put a note on there, um, and all that goes to all go to the car. And hmm
Way cool. So now, we're talking about our charity or your
hmm
charity or our charities. Now,
right.
I do the Guardian Group, okay, and the way I work with Guardian Group is any of the products that I sell, which I hope my website will be back up here soon.
hmm
Thank you, that company that I won't mention, but something about your papa or your daddy or something like that. Anyway, they really did me bad. But anyway, so what I do and when I sell products from Gunner's Choice, I take, right out the top, I take, three anywhere from 3 to 5%. If it's a big order, then I'll do 3%. If it's a small order, then 5%. That's it. Okay.
hmm
Um, and I donate that to the Guardian Group, which is helping out with preventing human trafficking, sex trafficking, things like that. Because in our area, especially down I-10, coming from down south, all the way up past San Antonio, all the way up I-10,
hmm
it's like a corridor, and
Yeah.
they catch them all the time, and
Yeah.
my thing is, what if that was my daughter or
hmm
my son or my girl or whatever, what if,
Yeah.
so I thought that was a good charity.
It's
Okay.
a great charity.
um your charity, which is called Relief for Troops. Okay. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all what that looks like here in just a second. You can see it behind me here in just a second. But it's a veterans charity that started from basically you ended up getting leukemia.
Yeah. This formed off of
Okay.
cancer. Imagine that. Something positive,
Right.
right?
And this charity, okay, is called, as you can see, well, you can't see the whole thing, but it says Relief for Troops. Okay. And yes, it is CBD. Okay. It is 100% CBD only,
hmm
absolutely zero, and I mean zero THC.
hmm
Um, it's kept my best friend right there. It's kept him alive now since 2019.
hmm
Off chemo, took himself off of chemo.
hmm
He was taking the CBD. It's a like a drop or like an oil or whatever, and it's kept him alive and kept his cancer levels
hmm
steady since 2019. No chemo, no other drugs, no nothing, just the CBD.
hmm
I'd say that's like a freaking miracle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God bless him. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Um, but now tell us more about that and tell us how that charity works and, also tell us about that Patriot program.
So, quick one down. 2013, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and they took me in. They said, "Hey, you got 90,000 red blood cells in your bloodstream," and I'm like, "Okay." And I'm not a doctor, and they said, "Yeah, you need to go do another blood test." And I took another one. They confirmed I had chronic myeloid leukemia,
Mhm.
and I I didn't really know anything about it. I heard of leukemia, but a lot of it was in, you grow up, kids get it real easy, right? And so basically what it is that your body produces mutant red blood cell or white blood cells, and then it just starts attacking itself. So I'd been on chemo, um, you know, for 6 years, 5, 6 years, and obviously chemo does their thing. It goes, it hurts. I started hurting, and I went to my doctor and said, Two things are going to happen. We're going to figure out how to cut this pain." And I've already taken enough pain pills, gabapentin, tramadol. I take all that stuff, and I said, either
Mhm.
we figure something out, or I'm gonna go find me some of that green stuff, and we're gonna have some fun. And that's where I'm. And I was not, you're in the military, or I'm a contractor. You can't do that. So
Right.
just about that time, Mark, our good friend Mark O'Donnell, said, "Hey man, I want to introduce you to something." And he came over to the dojo. I was teaching jujitsu. He came over to the dojo and he says, "Here, I want you to take this." And I said, "Okay." And this is what it looks like. See if you can see it. This is
Okay.
topical, but
Wow.
it's the same thing.
Mhm.
And I said, "Okay." And I took it. I took a dropper of it, and that was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Normally at that time, I was starting to crash. That's when my body
Mhm.
and the chemo would take me. It was time for me to go to bed, right? I was wired. Like I
No
was
pun
driving
intended?
home, and yeah, it was almost like someone just took a battery and hit me. And I'm like, what the? And but it's got no THC in it. And then so we started talking about the science behind it and everything. And fast forward, come to find out from my doctor that CBD has an element in it called CBG. CBG is what they call the
Mhm.
cancer fighting element in CBD. And it actually attaches to the same protein that chemo does, that prevents other cells from attaching to that cell and attacking it,
Right, okay.
right? Where chemo not only prevents it, but the my body was rejecting the first chemo after it had killed everything. And so they put me on a biomodifier, and that biomodifier actually attaches that protein, and then it actually starves it out by changing the DNA. Not only will it not allow anything to attach to it and keep it alive, it changes the DNA of that cell so it dies out.
Oh, wow. Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I started feeling good. I was able to, I could get in the car, not hurting, get out of the car, not hurting. I could do jujitsu. I can fly through the air. I can do all this crazy stuff as an old man. And 2 years after, 3 years after I started taking the CBD with the chemo, I called up my doc and I said, "Hey, I want to do something." And she said, "You want to take yourself off chemo, don't you?" And I said, "I want to try the science. I will be the guinea pig." And that was the start of the charity. I told Mark, I said, you know, after the first couple blood draws of just being on CBD and off of chemo, my levels were still down. And I said, there's something here to this. And that's how it started. We created Relief for Troops, and our goal is to raise money and buy product and hand it out to veterans anywhere we go that can't afford to it. And those people that want to donate to the cause, that's what it goes to. And we use the car as the vehicle for that. And so the 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 kicker for me on this was this. We talked about the
Excuse me, I'm so
stigma
sorry.
behind CBD, right? You and I talked about that in
Mhm.
one of our earlier posts and videos. And I get it, but I'm here to tell you that I'm alive without chemo because of this. And by the way, I say this with all humility. I'm the only one right now still in the VA cancer ward that has cancer that is not taking chemo, that has cancer. And I see the doctor tomorrow, and she wants to start the case study for the VA to write up on me about how this works and why this works, and maybe there's a way we can do something about this. And there's so much more to it. It's Zalise, um, the bioavailability in each dropper and the way that they formulate it with distilled water and how it absorbs into your C1, C2 receptors in your mouth, and understanding the endocannabinoid system in your body is
Oh, it's mind
absolute
blowing.
key to this. Oh, it's absolutely mind blowing. I was on 5 medicines, right? 5: gabapentin, Ambien, um, joint medicine, and
Hmm.
uh, antihistamine for my sinuses.
Right.
And the first night I took it, I slept all through the night, and I didn't have one nightmare. I was coming back from the desert, man. I would jolt. I would jolt hard.
I still
Sometimes
do.
I would remember the dreams. Sometimes and most of the time I didn't. But um, now I sleep so hard, the sinuses are making me snore. And girlfriend's not too happy about that. But I'm alive. But yes, that's really what it is. And so I'm off all of those medicines to include Ambien and
Oh
chemo,
wow.
all because of a drop. Now I don't, and I get it. There are some people out there that really look at it in a bad way. I can't do
It's
it.
the stigmatism. Yeah.
Right? But I'm going to tell you something. I take a urinalysis every time I draw blood and do a drug screen just to prove this point. Period. The end. And my dad, before he passed away in 2020, he died of his sixth cancer is what took him. It was gastro, and that was a whole different situation. Why it
Sure.
but prior to that, he had pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, tonsil cancer. Um, and I think there was
Beat
one
all
other one,
that.
and he beat all that, and he didn't have to have surgery except for on one of them because the CBD shrunk the tumor. Because what happens is cancer tumors grow because everything keeps attacking it and growing and growing and growing and growing.
Right. Like it gets inflamed or
CBD,
something.
correct. If you catch it in time with CBD and you get on it and you religiously and positively take it every day, it is not a quick pain medicine. You don't take it like you take,
An aspirin or something. Right.
oxycodone or an aspirin and be like, "Whoo, man, I feel good," or "I feel weird." It takes time. It takes
Sure.
time. And the 3 stages of pain, people talk about CBD and pain, but
Hmm.
they really don't want to take the time to understand this. Here's the deal: CBD works on your endocannabinoid system. It tells your body how to heal itself on what it can heal on its own. And the first thing it does is it fights inflammation. And so people be like, Drew, I'm taking the CBD and my body's starting to hurt. I said, yeah, because your inflammation's going down. And because your inflammation's going down, now the pain receptors are going to start firing off. And then your body's going to be going, okay, we got a pain over here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn that down a little bit so that the body can focus on itself the best it
Right.
can without it having to fight inflammation and pain. And that is the whole key behind CBD. Time. Time and belief in a positive mind. If it can work on cancer, it can work on your knees, it can work on your lower back. I got all those
Yes.
problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hey,
they wanted
I'm
to
proof.
fuse my lower back. Yeah, no, and it's true. Arthritis, this is topical, right? This is a topical rub. Okay.
Hmm.
And the only thing in this is CBD and peppermint. Peppermint
Hmm.
opens the pores, CBD goes in there, and it calms down I got arthritis in
Inflammations
my
or
fingers.
whatever. Right.
Calms down the inflammation. And man, let me tell you, it if I don't use it and I've tried something and it doesn't work for me, I will not promote it. I won't. Won't do it. I don't care what it is.
I'm the same. I'm the same way.
Zalise. There's thousands of CBD products out there. Yes, there is. but this stuff is grown by the United States Department of Agriculture.
Mhm.
It is Zalice spent the money for the testing. They spent the time
Millions.
for the research. Yes. And to this day, um, I won't use anything else. I won't. And it's life changing. It can help you. And the problem, Chuck, you might have an ailment. I'm going to have an ailment. They're going to be two different ailments, two different responses, but the human body responds the same. We're all the same. And that's what people need to understand is that, it didn't happen overnight. Nope, it didn't. You didn't get hurt overnight either, did you? you know?
No, it didn't.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that the Relief for Troops charity is also about is teaching you about
Mhm.
how it works on you.
Right.
Um, so that's the story behind Relief for Troops.
Okay. Now ambassadorship.
Yes,
How
yes,
does
I'm
that
glad
work?
you. Yep. So for
This is
veterans,
the part I wanted you to listen to, Mike, right here.
yeah, and my cousin Dustin just he let me touch on that too. Absolutely, the mind is a very powerful thing, right? And CBD, like I told you, I wasn't having any nightmares, right? That includes PTSD. That
Mhm.
includes anxiety, depression, anything going on up here, right? If you just have it in you to go, I want to try this.
Mhm.
I just want to see if I can fix this. Give it time. I'm telling you, like in the worst of my situations, this stuff took my mind out of the gutter because
Cool.
it calms everything down. All your senses, all of the stuff going on in the gray matter, it calms it down. And so, Dusty's right. The depression and anxiety, uh, PTSD, right, and depression together out here, and I'm going to say this is one of the major causes on why we have veteran suicide. And it's a sad thing. It really is a sad thing. I was at the VA hospital one time, and I went in there for something. I was in triage, and then there was a veteran sitting there, and he was in tears, and he was just trying to get his medicines, and they couldn't give it to him, and he lost his home, he lost his wife, he lost all this stuff, he living out of his car, and he's just something to make all this go away. I don't I just want my head to just let me focus and be right. And I'm sitting there going, if I had a bottle, I'd have given you 30 days of relief, my friend, and I didn't. So that's the kind of stuff that we see all the time. And then the suicides, Chuck. Look, I don't know. It's been a little bit, but there was one in the parking lot at the VA. Parking lot at the VA because he couldn't something was going on where he couldn't be seen or he couldn't get his meds or what have you not. And it's just like it's so easy to do. It's so easy to help out. And I'm
Yep.
here I'm here because as hurry and fast that I want to do things, I'm here to tell you we can really help if we just need more people on board.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. But now, as far as like we're like the ambassadorship,
Oh yeah,
that's the
let me
part that I
get
really
yeah
want. I'm kind of wondering about that myself.
yeah. Sorry about this. So I get off. I'm so passionate about this
It's
stuff. I
all
get
good.
off my
It's all
last.
good. No, 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 no. It's
So
all
the
good.
Patriot program, the Patriot program through Zalise. If you go to Zalise.com, um, if you're a veteran and you want to be a part of the Zalise Ambassadors program, you can look at it two ways. One, can you can make it a business. Like you can turn it
Mhm.
into a business. Like you can go out and make this your thing. Or you can become a member and an ambassador just for the discount, right? We don't care. We're not really into all that. But the ambassadorship allows you to do a couple things. You can make a little income out of it and you can spread the word. You get a discount on your auto ship. And the way you do it is you sign it up. And uh, the the Patriot program is strictly for veterans. And what it does is it waives the initial fee and from being an ambassador, just being an ambassador of the program, right, at
Mhm.
the basic level. And and then what that does is allows you to have your discount on your auto ship. And your auto ship is, if you pay for it to have it sent every month, you actually get a discount.
Mhm.
So you can leverage it your way. You can make it whatever you want. But as a veteran, especially, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about a lot on this also is veterans that have a hard time having a job that really supports everything, or actually finding a job where they have to physically do something, because sometimes you get limited, you get limited disabilities where it's like, I can't do much, but I mean, I can at least get out. But what can I do? This is a great opportunity for you to be able to, all you have to do is research, be be the product, right? Let it work for you, and then go out and talk to people. Make it your own, what you want it to be. We can
There you
employ
go.
veterans to do this. Not we, that you don't work for me, but I'm saying you can become your own boss doing this and make some income. And as a veteran, you get in free. The base
Right.
level's free.
Now,
And
if you're
then,
not a
yep,
veteran if you're not a veteran, how does that work if you're not a veteran?
it's the same way. You go in and you sign up through the ambassador, or you come to an ambassador and we sign you up. Either way, and then what happens is that then you would pay. There's three phases. You got your bronze, which is $99. You got your silver, which is $299, and you get some product in there with that. And then you have the one ambassadorship that I'm going to renew, which is your gold. It's 900 and some, but you get to pick product that comes to you at first, and you can hand that out and take whatever you want to take. But
Right.
those different levels are the different levels of commission also, if you want to go that route, right?
Mhm.
But for me, it's more about getting product in my hand so I can hand it back out, because I mean, I'm
Right.
going to only take so much. But that's how you do it. You just go to Zalease.com, or you come to an ambassador like us or like yourself, and we'll go on and we can sign you up if it's through the Patriot program as a veteran. There you go, relieffortroops.org. The information is there. And and shopzalease.com. Those are the things that take the time. Just ask and research, and I'm going to tell you, it's the greatest thing that you know, I don't push it for income. I do it to help people. I have a
Right.
full-time job, right? I'm fortunate, but not everybody is. Those are the ones that we need to help.
Right. I agree 100%.
Mhm. And
100%.
I wanna
So,
say
Mike, there you
something,
go, buddy.
yeah, Whip, you asked, is it a specific brand of CBD? It's the company, yes. I use Zalease, Zilas. You'll see shopzalease.com. It's scrolling through you on the bottom here. The reason why I use them over most all the others is because the bioavailability. Now, there's a couple new ones out that's like taking distilled water. It's just like taking a sip of water. It's got 100% bioavailability in it, right? However, it's the amount of CBD that's in that 1 milliliter dropper. Zalease to me is um, the most effective. Um, it's got 94 to 96% bioavailability. You can feel it in your mouth. And it tastes really good. You got lemon and berry, and if you like the taste of grass, we got raw too. But I just think the concentration in the amount, 26 milligrams of CBD, 96% of that gets into your receptors, and it goes to
Mhm.
work. It goes to work. You don't need once a day. And sometimes it works too good where you actually back down. You don't need to have a dropper. Some people just react a lot faster,
Sure.
but so yes, it will. I have you ask about your hip, near your lower back. Anywhere there's a pain receptor in your body, CBD will calm it down. It will calm it down, and you're going to feel like your body hurts. You're going to feel like, oh man, I'm starting to hurt more. That's because inflammation is going down, and now you're starting to move a little bit better. Then that's when it starts working on the pain receptors, so you can start addressing the issue of actually what's going on with you. So
Cool.
yes, it will do something for you. Trust me. My back is broke. right? I got two blown disc and two hairline fractures, and you know, it really just takes the inflammation down, and now my doctors can actually say, okay, this is what's going on with you, right? CBD can't fix everything. What it does though is it calms everything down so that you can focus on the actual problem instead of your body fighting pain. Um, and then I want to go to the healing side. If you have a cold, or if you have, believe it or not, if you like to drink and you get a hangover, take a shot of this stuff before you start drinking, you won't have a hangover. It's that kind of, that's how it works on your brain. It takes the inflammation down. So
I did not
yes,
know that.
it
But you think
yeah.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
try it? You're crazy.
I seen me do it. Okay, trust me. Stuff it's
You do
stuff
it.
is it's wild stuff, man. And guess what? It's all natural, right? There's
Yeah,
there's
that's the
there's a
good
reason
part.
why the Egyptians were chewing on it out in the desert and moons ago. But yes, it will help with that. But I do want to say this: surgically repairable or it issues that require surgery, Zalease is going to help manage the pain. It's going to calm everything down. It will promote faster healing.
Right.
Chuck, if you remember, I had skin cancer removed off my leg, right? On my right hand side, that big around. I got
Mhm.
pictures of it. They dug it out. They went down about an inch and a half into my calf, and that was to make sure that they had all the skin cancer cells. I had 2 or 3 stitches because it was so wide. You know what I did to heal? And I didn't take any pain meds. I took a dropper of Zalease and I put it in there, and I would cover it up. Dropper of Zalease every day, cover it up, and it healed. And they said it would take about 6 to 8 weeks for it to completely heal. 3.5 weeks, I went in, and the scab was over on top of it already. True
I'll
story.
be damned.
So,
Hella cool.
dude, the stuff's amazing. You just have to get past the stigma and the I need to fix now. I need to fix now. I need to fix now. You're
Right,
not going to
right.
get that.
It's
It
not gonna
it
happen
takes
overnight, but it does work.
it doesn't. My chronic pain took about 3.5 weeks for me to realize my chronic pain was gone, where I could roll out of bed and not sound like a bag of potato chips because the inflammation went down.
Right, crack,
Hmm.
snapple, and all that. Yep, yep.
Yep. True.
Now,
True.
we got 15 mics left, so I wanna take the
Yep.
last 15 minutes,
Hmm.
okay? There is something coming up on this month, the 21st of this month,
Mm.
okay, in San Antonio, Texas,
Hmm.
on Babcock Road at the Detail Garage,
Hmm.
and I can't remember the address. It was in the promo video earlier. But I can't remember.
Hmm.
It's 50 something, 5897 or something like that.
Yep.
It's in the video. Check out the other video, the commercial for today's show. And there's going to be a whole bunch of cars there. It's going to be a cars and coffee thing from
Hmm.
was it,
Eight
0
to
8
ten.
to 10,
Hmm.
8 to 10 in the morning. Go out, have you a nice cup of coffee, bring the family, bring the kids. And the best part about it is the HMS 1X Super Late model is going to be there
Hmm.
and possibly get a chance to meet the fellas.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
two
We're
guys
gonna.
right here.
It's I love doing the cars and coffee with the race car. They allow us to park it up front. Landon, one time last year, Landon was able to take his car too, so we had two late models out there. And
Oh, way cool.
you know what's crazy about doing that is over the microphone they have an MC there, and we always say, hey, can you, the next time you get on the microphone and bump your gums, can you go ahead and say, hey, any veteran that is here in the parking lot, come over and sign the car. You got to see the car, just absolutely covered with signatures of veterans and veteran family members, and we do that for a reason, because Chuck and I, you and I used to be that guy where you know we did what we did, we volunteered to do it, but when we got back from the desert, it was at a time where it was still kind of new for people to actually go, oh, it's not like Vietnam, so we can actually, talk good about our soldiers. We can actually support them,
Yeah.
Um, and so I said, you know, put your name on the card. This is what I want to do, because every time we're on TV, I want anybody that happened to be watching to know that yes, your name is with us everywhere we go. When we're on TV,
Right.
where all that stuff. And now that the car is squared away, ugh, we can
Again.
get it back out. Yeah, it's been rough, man. When you blow motors and blow parts up, and it's
Not
catastrophic.
cheap.
It's no, it's not. But yeah, so yep, this Sunday, I'll probably be there about 7:30. Um, it's gonna be a little chilly, but we're gonna if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And as long as they
Right
don't
on.
cancel, um, come see us, talk to us, get them, sign the car, take all the pictures you want, and come talk to us about what we do. And that's
We'd
how we
love
do
to
it,
hear
man.
from you.
And oh, I talked to Ray, and he is going to give me some passes to hand out for the track next season. So
Nice.
you come see us. We're going to have some lucky people. We're gonna get them into the races for free next year. So
Way cool, way cool. And if
yeah.
you guys have never been to a late model stock car race or any kind of dirt track racing, um, you're missing out. Really missing out. The first time I ever went to a well, it was World Outlaws is the first dirt track race I ever went to. It was a World Outlaws. Um, was it Wisconsin?
It's
I
possible.
can't remember the seven. I think it was called like Seven Prairie or something like that. Something like I can't remember what it
Um,
was called. Anyway, but I was a high school kid, and I'd never been. And a buddy of mine's dad, he's a big Mopar guy, but he was really into stock car racing. And they asked me if I wanted to go one time. I was like, "Well, hell yeah, I want to go. It's racing. Are you kidding me?" Because I was all into motocross and everything.
yeah.
And I used to race in Byron all the time. But
Hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." Man, I tell you what, I was like, you might just put a hook in my lip. I was hooked good. I loved it. And it was an experience that I'll never ever forget. And every chance you get, take it. If you can get a chance to go to the
Hmm.
dirt track, head out, man. And don't get me wrong. Now I do like NASCAR, okay,
Hmm.
but
Sure.
man, dirt tracks where it's at, man. I'm telling you, it's way more exciting. Yeah, it's just better all the way around. Even the fights are better. I mean,
You know what's cool about dirt track racing, especially when it's World of Outlaws? And well, I'm going to say this too. We have and I forgot to say this. We have out here in Floresville, we have a motocross track, right? And one year the Torque Super Trucks came out here, and they had the Super Trucks, or the trophy, the champion trucks. Oh my God, bro! You know, $400,000 trucks flying through the air is, I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that. But what's good about like trophy trucks and dirt track racing is what happened this past weekend is a prime example. Before Kyle Larson went out for his feature, I gave him a Nux in the car. I said, I can walk right up to the car. Hey, Kyle, good luck, buddy. And he gave me a nut and gave me a thumbs up. You're talking to the NASCAR champion, right? He's a NASCAR champion. He is a sprint car champion. Uh, with the All Stars. And you come out to a dirt track, you can walk right up to their trailer, you can say, hey, can I get a picture with you? Absolutely. Bobby Pierce, I have a picture of Jennifer and I next to Bobby Pierce, and Bobby Pierce said, where y'all from? Hey, the World of Outlaw late model champion, right, is sitting here talking to an amateur guy, wanting to know where we're from. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Where you from? Blah blah. And we start talking. He says, yeah, I'm from, up there in Indiana, and I race against Fager and all these guys. We just had a conversation. You don't have
right,
the fanfare. Of course, we paid for pit passes, which is $45. But at a dirt track like that, the drivers go up there and talk. Kyle Larson, they made it a big deal. They said, "Hey, come up here to Kyle Larson. He'll sign autographs, take a picture. If you don't have a pit pass, or you can walk down the pits and you can sit there and shake hands and talk." That's what I love about dirt track. That's what I love about though the grassroots type of racing is that these guys that came from dirt that are making it in the big time come back down here and are just as normal as anything else. It's so cool. Um, and to be a part of that, even though I'm not on their level by no means, and I'm about $19 million short, um, to be in that realm of being able to do that for our local guys and be known and shake hands and help the troops out, it really is an honor. It really is. I'm very lucky to be able to do this. Um, I'm very fortunate to have people like you, Chuck, and our other brothers and sisters that support us doing it. Um,
Mhm.
you're absolutely right. It's if you've never been, it is absolutely nothing that it's nothing that you've experienced. Trust me. I've never seen a 2,400-pound car do 120 mile an hour down a straightaway and they slide it. They throw it in the
In the
trunk.
dirt.
I'm lucky to do 95, but
Right.
these guys at 950 horsepower and coming right at you, and then all of a sudden you see the side of their car and they're flying through the air, bouncing around. There's nothing like it. It's absolutely insane.
Cool. So again, that's gonna what day is that? That's a Saturday, right? The
Sunday, the
21st?
21st. It's this
Oh,
Sunday.
it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. So this Sun
Hmm.
oh crap, that is this Sunday. All right. So this Sunday, the 21st, from 8 to 10,
Hmm.
Babcock Road.
Hmm.
It's called the Detail Garage.
The detail
Yeah.
garage. Yep, northwest. They in it's northwest San Antonio, Babcock. It's the detail
Right.
garage. There's only two in
Right.
San Antonio, I think, and it's the
Right. It's
northwest one.
5879 Babcock Road.
There you go. Yep.
That's the
And
one.
Steve and them, great, great. They give military discounts.
Very
Best
cool. Very cool.
products to use on your car, in my opinion, hands down. And I use it on everything, to include jet skis. Let me tell you something. That water out there does not stick to the jet ski when you put their butter wax and you dress them up with the
It
chemical
falls
guys
right
and
off.
stuff. Oh man, it's amazing. It's such an easy clean. Oh yeah.
Now, do
So
you use that on your race car too to keep the mud off?
I do. Um they
'Cause I
have
know
this
we used
stuff
to put
called
a baby oil and water into that spray thing and
yeah,
spray it.
that's
That's
those
old school.
that's old school. There's a lot of people that still do it, and you just walking around smelling like baby powder. No,
Right.
I do. I use the Hydro Slick wax where I put it on and I buff it. I put on the bars. Now, obviously, it stuff sticks, but when it dries, it just falls off, and
Right.
it's a great thing. And it does help keep the mud from sticking. The degreaser, absolutely amazing that they have. So yeah, I use it on the car. Everything that goes on our car, line and lands, is chemical, guys.
Gotcha.
Oh,
The man of
what's
the
going
hour.
on there?
That's Bandit. He snuck in. Usually the door's closed, but he snuck in.
He wants to say something.
He's my
Yes.
little
Oh,
buddy.
if you do have a pet that has an
Mhm.
ailment, we do have pet CBD,
CBD.
and
Oh, Bandit, you want some?
it's fish flavored,
Some?
very fishy flavored. But I've used it on when I had my horse. I used it on Red, and I've used it. I had it on both my dogs. They were on it too for their back problems.
Eat that hole. He's wagging his tail like a bit. You can feel his little butt going. Did you want some? Did you want some? Yeah. Are you sure? Well,
Oh,
you
and don't
go tell
forget
your
the
mama.
garb for anybody. This is the coffee cup,
Oh, yes.
right?
We do
They're in stock.
have. Oh, yeah. All the time. And we got to
Mm-hmm.
go here. Where's my banner? Here you go. That's where you can
There it
check
is.
that out.
Yep.
Yes, sir. We have beer mugs, coffee mugs, t-shirts,
Dog tags,
Christmas ornaments.
Christmas ornaments. Yes.
We have 'em. And if there's something that you would like to see that's not
Mhm.
there, send an email to us. Excuse me, and request it, and I'll see if I can't make that up. God, if I don't stop hiccuping, holy cow, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be rude, but if there's something you want that you don't see, um, give me a shout sometime, and I'll see if I can't get it made for you.
And
It's
if you
not a
have a
problem.
Glock, reach out to Gunner Six, his website. Anything that you want to, you want to rock your Glock out. Here it is. Let me tell you something. He can um, get you anything that you want. Veterans get a discount.
First responders too.
Proceeds from your website does go to your charity, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
And if you want a cheap way to have $100,000 Glock, this is the man to do it for you. Every day he shows me something new. Like I just got my new light put on. Thank you. I'm trying to blind the neighbors with the laser that's at the end of the property. It's absolutely amazing. So
I
please
have
go
an old light
to
problem.
gonna yeah, you have a light problem, guy. Um, but yeah, if you need anything for your weapons, Chuck, your website is or your email
Yeah,
is
email. The email is gunner6 at
gunner6.com.
gunnerswag.com.
Please
Shoot
see
me an
him.
email, or you can even get us at the
Hmm.
gearheads and guardians at gmail.com.
Hmm.
Just put, just address it to Chuck, or, hey, knucklehead, or whatever. And
Hmm.
I'll get to you as soon as I can. Now you got to remember, I work in 95. I run Gunner's Choice. I do my charity. I try to help Drew with his charity. Got a family, and I got dogs, and I got fish. So I'm pretty busy all the time. But that
Yeah.
does not mean that I will not check those emails, because at night when I'm laying in the bed watching Moonshiners or watching Curse of Oak Island, I'm flipping through my emails, checking and everything. So I
Hmm.
will get those. Okay. So
And look,
yeah,
relieffortroops.org or .com. If you go to it, go to Hessler Motorsports, and the new schedule is up. We start April 9th.
right on. Here, there we go. All right.
Beautiful. I want to say
So
thank you to my cousins that are listening. Love you guys. So glad that you guys joined us, and that um, we're gonna be able to stay in contact. And
absolutely. It's beautiful.
it's really cool to see everybody. Whip, thank you for joining us. MNC, appreciate it. Um, we'll talk to y'all next
Oh,
Wednesday on that one.
real quick, real quick. Mike asked me a question last week. And Mike, I'm a bad friend because I did not check it out. I know it's a green cord. Okay. I know for a fact it's a green cord, but was there like little yellow spots in it? Was there red spots in it? You know what, Eric, you know what I'm talking about? You know how the infantry has the blue
Oh,
cord
mm-hmm,
or the French Forget? What is the
mm-hmm.
one that's all green?
Um,
For the life of me, I can't
well,
think of it either.
is it is it just a cord, or is it shoots and snares, the German marksmanship bet? It doesn't have a
No, no,
pennant
no.
on
It's
it,
not a
right?
shoots and snare. It's not a shoots and snare. It's
Okay.
all green. No,
Hmm.
it's like a French Forget.
Oh, solid green with brass ends. Oh. I want to say that that is quite possibly is that might be something green beret-ish
Green cord worn on
with
the
brass end. I know what he's talking
army.
about because we had blue ones in the Air Force ROTC for honor guard.
Well, see, now when I
Um,
was at Stewart, was it Stewart? My
it
unit
might be
had a
an
French
airborne thing.
Forget, and it was more green, but it did have like spots of red in it. And
Yeah,
it's okay. The U.S. Army Cadet Command Regulation, ROTC cadets, okay, to wear Army green shoulder cords, green shoulder cord Army salute uniforms. Let's find out here. Hold on one second. It says it's the U.S. Army Cadet Command, something to do with Cadet Command.
possibly. Like West Point or
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
an
he could have been like an
automatic.
instructor there, or assigned there as a non-commissioned officer or something.
So your
'Cause
dad was
that was his
infantry.
dad.
Okay, so the blue braid means that he was
He's
infantry
infantry.
on the right hand side. On the left hand side means it might have it probably had something to do with combat. Was he in Vietnam? MNC? Was he in Vietnam?
Oh, his name's Mike, by the way.
Oh, Mike. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. You didn't know. Shoot. Okay. This does not mean, however, that
Because
the color is associated exclusively with that activity. Okay, so that might not
he
be
was a
it.
DI um after he was sent, so he was a drill instructor. So
So that might
that
be what it
might be
was
the
then.
fact that he was a drill instructor during that time, and he had a brown round, so that means he probably had the green the green cord showing that he was a drill instructor. So
A
that's most
DI, yeah.
likely what it is. Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. I'm not for sure,
Sure.
but
It's quite possible. We'll do some research for
now,
you, Mike. I promise you we'll figure
with,
that out.
yeah. Now, was he active duty or was he a reservist, a guardsman?
Oh, he's 25th Infantry, so he was actually in Hawaii, I
E5
believe,
in
right?
man. Okay.
He was over there at Schofield Barracks. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that something tells me that that cord had something to do with um being a drill instructor or something that happened during the war because it was on the left-hand side. Unless he was special like he was special duty when he was he's a sniper. See now it's starting to I think it was a special identifier is what he had it for. I bet you that's either drill instructor or something special within the infantry. But he had the blue one
Mhm.
is meaning he was an infantryman. Yep.
Gotcha. So we'll check it out some more, Mike. So next week we'll have some more answers for you.
Right.
And with that being said, guys, it is 5 after 8, and I told Mama I was gonna go with her to the store. So, with that being said, God bless y'all. Come here, you. I know you're down here whining like a little baby. Come here. Bandy says bye too, and we'll talk to y'all later. God bless y'all. It was wonderful to see y'all, and it was great to see my buddies again. Great to finally meet some of Andrew's relatives. And y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless. We're
Y'all
out.
have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Cool. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Don't be late. We'll see you.